Over here we have 3 peach trees, and this year they're kind of taking the year off. I think we might be lucky and get some peaches, but last year they really dumped. Where are those?
Hey, you got some wheatgrass growing in there?
We got some microgreens, some pea shoots, and some wheatgrass. Gabby, do you know where the other microgreens are? We have.
I don't know. We had some trouble when we were. I think on the second day of them, they were kind of turning yellow. We had sat them outside for a day and it rained, and they were getting yellow and kind of moldy.
They might have got pitched.
Yeah.
Okay. And back here, we just started. We didn't like having any bare soil, so we started using weeds just on the pathway, kind of.
Yeah, kind of like as a mulch to keep the other weeds down.
Yeah.
That's a pretty handy use for spent weeds.
And then
using weeds as weed preventer.
Right.
Ultimate recycling.
Right. In here we've got some of our rootstock for grafting apple trees. We had a couple successes, but most of it's just rootstock for when we try it again.
Now, did you just stick your shoot, or were these stray shoots, or did you stick cuttings, or?
We did them. We waxed them together. So, as you can see, here's a successful one that took.
Yeah, that looks good. Now, what did you use for a rootstock?
I'm not sure. It's a dwarf apple variety. Here we do like lots of interplanting, putting tomatoes in with basil to help, keep down the different bugs and stuff. Here's our crop of edamame beans. They'll be ready probably about another 30 days.
Edamame beans. What kind of beans?
Edible soybean, Japanese soybean. In Japan, they have them like beer nuts.
Cool. That sounds tasty. Is that some kind of Jerusalem artichoke, or?
That is Jerusalem artichoke, and it was staying nice and contained by this old whiskey barrel, but they're starting to spread a little bit. But that's okay. We'll thin them back. This is our pumpkin patch that's taking over into some of our kale, but that's okay. The kale's starting to get a little bit past its life cycle. We did this year that worked really well was we took our this whole area right here was where we grew our garlic. We grew about 98 pounds of garlic down here this year, and we started the pumpkins about 3 weeks before we harvested the garlic. So after the garlic got pulled out, we gave the soil about a week of rest, and then we threw the pumpkins right in, and they just, so we never had like a lag in what was going on in the dirt in this area. Just kept things moving.
Yeah, see some little baby pumpkins going on in there.
Yeah, fine leaf. And down here we finally got a couple trellises. This is a really simple Home Depot trellis. All it is electrical conduit and rebar, and you just get a conduit bender and you bend it and attach it, and it's like 3 pieces of electrical conduit and then some old deer fencing, and they work really well. So we got some multicolored pole beans growing up these that will we're looking forward to that. Down here we have our sweet potato patch, doing really well.
I am what I am. Popeye's favorite food, wasn't it?
Yeah. This is a really awesome plant right here. It's going to seed. We're just letting it go to seed. It's borage. Borage is a really good, it brings in the beneficial insects. It smells really good, and it also, if you're able to press it, it makes a really good oil that's high in omega fatty acids. And then a couple years ago, some elderly lady over at the Village Green over in Northside gave me a couple cuts of her rhubarb, and we just threw them in, and they're really starting to do well now. So I'm excited that we had our first couple nice cuts of rhubarb this year that we were able to take to the market. The garden right now is, I'd say, about 10% in perennials. Over time, my goal is to put this garden in about 75% perennials. And then really after that, it really just starts taking care of itself.
Sustainable agriculture.
And then more sweet potatoes in here. Some amaranth. I really love this. Really good green, cooking green. Some nice zucchini.
Is there a method or a madness behind the co-mingling, the co-planting of the zinnias in with the zucchini?
Zinnias are another good beneficial. Oh, we got a beautiful melon right here. And I don't know, what do you think? When do you think I'll know if this is ready?
From what I'm told, when you thunk them, they should have a nice resonant tone like a good drum.
Maybe not yet. Maybe.
No, I don't think that one's quite ready yet.
Hopefully people leave it there. So back here is, this is a youth garden. What we do here is we employ inner city youth. We've had over 20 youth this summer getting as their summer job. And it gets pretty wild at times getting the kids to do work. Other times it's great, but we've done different strategies. One thing that always helps at the end of the day is this is our meeting area. And in this area, we meet at the end of the day and we talk about, you know, what was positive that day. And then each person says something positive that they learned or experienced that day, and then they say peace and blessings. So this is our peace and blessings circle. See if we can sneak in here. This is a really neat little microgreen climate setup that our intern has put together.
Okay.
Using some remay and an old Dunkin' Donuts sign.
Ha!
And I really love found object art, especially when you're using it to grow food. It seems like that's working pretty well. Back here is the newest section of our garden. Al holding the camera right now. What did you haul? About 5 dump truck loads.
Yeah, I think it was five 2-ton loads of manure.
Composted manure last summer. And it's already made its way, due to the kids flipping it around and stuff, into something that's useful, a medium. You know, it doesn't hold the most moisture and it's not fully into soil yet, but it's able to grow, you know, simple crops in. So after this season, after these crops, the pumpkins and tomatoes out here are finished, what we'll do is we'll follow it with some shredded, you know, good old Ohio clay topsoil and remound the mounds. And then hopefully about 3 years from now, the dirt out here will look like the dirt in here. And the dirt in here, I'm pretty proud of it. You know, it's if you can go like that, and you're in Ohio too, in this part of Ohio, and you can really just sink your hands into it and pull it out, and you know, that to me is pretty damn good dirt. When we came into this garden, it just looked like, hey, there was a building here not too long ago. You know, it looked like, if you can find some of this stuff out here, you know, I mean, we've been composting all in this area, so it's almost hard to find. But you know, when you dig down into this area, you find all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah, that was an old cast iron sink drain. Yeah, looks like.
You know, this was houses, and you know, what we're trying to do is reclaim it as you know, a productive green space in the city. If you look at this whole area of the city on like Google Maps or something like this, this is one of the biggest chunks of green space. Now, about 4 years ago, all this area that you're looking at right behind us was all woods. And then all of a sudden, the people they came down to do an infill housing project, and the funds fell through after they had already chopped down the woods. So basically, the people came over to the garden and said, man, it's a lot hotter down here. And you know, basically, so what our challenge is basically we lost our little microclimate that was making a lot of our moisture in our environment. So now it's a lot hotter down here. And so we've had to come in and really just, especially this season with being kind of dry, just water up to 10 hours a day lately. And we have different techniques of doing that. We use some of these rain barrels from Coca-Cola. We're currently not collecting any water off a building, although eventually we hope to get water off this building and then move it through to the beds through drip line. This is our, you know, very simple composting, community composting area. We compost everything, including, we do have the ability to compost even meat scraps because we use bokashi, which helps break it down. It's basically, bokashi is a ferment made out of wheat, molasses, and effective microorganisms. And that effective microorganism is basically lactobacillus. And it really just helps compost it down.